Hey y'all, it is June the 7th of 2023, and I wanted to holler at y'all about a couple of things. Well, I got a few minutes here. As you might could tell, I'm kind of sweaty. I was doing work on the car, you know what I'm saying? Some of that manly stuff, and you get sweaty sometimes, you heard me? Anyways, I just got done doing that. I have a little bit of time, so I wanted to share with y'all. There's a picture of me from earlier, alright? I'm building those muscles back up. I'm slowly installing them muscles back up. You know what I'm saying? Running around. I believe I did 3+ miles of running around. We're talking about the heat of the day. I soaked that shirt. It's one of these shirts that you can't read it until you sweat all over it, and then you can read it. I don't know if you've heard of these. Doesn't really matter. All right. I wanted to talk about some other stuff. First and foremost, to get it out of the way, talk about San Antonio. Um, you know, I think it was this last weekend, right? Because we're still early off into the month. I think it was this last weekend. Whole bunch of shootings went down in San Antonio. As you might well know, the murder rate in San Antonio has gone up recently. It might be going up a little bit more. A lot of shootings. I and I wouldn't jump the gun. I mean, it's a weekend full of a lot of shootings. It's Pride Month. Perhaps people got very proud, and when you get too proud, you might start shooting people up. So there's a lot of shootings, but I wouldn't jump the gun about it because it does not make us Chicago, and for that matter, it does not make us Houston. All right, because something's wrong with Houston. It's been like that for a long time. We're not like that. But some people might speculate and say, "Oh, this might it might get worse." I don't know. It can happen anywhere, they say. I believe the police chief said that, Mr. Chief McManus. 7 different shootings leave 6 dead across San Antonio on the weekend. All right, and there's a lot of like these little shootings here and there, across San Antonio. All right, I don't know how long the article is, but we're running out of daylight. I just want to tell you about it. Like this one, a 5-year-old boy was shot. 60-year-old woman shot and stuff. All sort of people were shot. A teen was shot and killed, and that was some payback. Apparently, according to this story, allegedly there was a fight, and then there was payback to shoot him up. That's what they did. McManus said the apartment complex where this happened was not known to be a problem area. More or less, he was saying it's kind of a nice place or a nicer place. Usually, there's not thuggery and tomfoolery going on in that area, but it's going to spill out everywhere. Obviously, that's the whole point. It's contagious. Drive-by shootings are always dangerous and blah blah blah. They're talking about this and that. They're talking about all sort of people. Apparently, it might be a long article. I don't think we got time for all this. But one also person, I'm not sure where they mention it, of note is a rapper, another rapper. I contend that San Antonio is actually a pretty dangerous place for rappers. And a lot of these, hardly any rappers from San Antonio make a lot of money, so you might think about it. See, okay, they were talking about this guy right here, on this paragraph right here. It says, on Sunday afternoon around 3 p.m., shoppers in the North Star Mall ran for cover as shots rang out. Police said 2 men entered a barber shop inside the mall, opened fire on the man who was getting a haircut, and they believe he was targeted and stressed it was not an active shooter situation. And I'll leave it at that. It does allegedly seem like it was targeted, and I can respect that they at least see they rolled up on this guy, right? At the barber shop, they knew it's like, okay, they only had a certain amount of time to get to this guy. Alright, I don't know, and they acted quick. And so they came to the barber shop and they only shot that one guy. And it's like, well, at least they didn't shoot anybody else because they could have probably done that. But instead, they were kind of respectful and shot this guy. I don't know why they shot him. I don't know that he deserved to get shot. Perhaps other people got shot before that and all sort of stuff. The police is trying to figure that out, whether any of these here shootings was connected. But I do want to show you one thing, and it's not real important. I wonder if I still have it. It's not real important. I wonder if I can use this feature with the brush. I got a brush right here, okay? So I'm going to see if I can use it. You see the red dots in that picture? That's San Antonio. That's the picture of San Antonio. And roughly, San Antonio exists typically inside this loop right there. All right, that's like 1604, and there's little towns, especially on the outside of it, of San Antonio. But then there's a loop called Loop 410. You can see the numbers down there, real small down there, Loop 410. And that's what you would call the inner city. And I've noticed that, hey man, people get shot everywhere. It's not like shootings don't happen over here. But there's no shootings on the north side, buddy. Do you notice all the little red dots? They're all along 410. And this is why I tell people, even who live here and stuff, it's like, if I don't have to go to 410 and within 410, then I don't want to go to 410, all right? I mean, I never do. But sometimes you have to go. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out. I don't know how to get rid of the paintbrushes. Okay. So, a lot of people got shut up. All right. And that's unfortunate. I hope the trend does not continue. But I did want to point out, just like every single time, Flaming Piece of Nothing, a person you would have never ever heard of until I brought him up. Unfortunately, I brought him into your life. It's a Mayor Ron Nirenberg, and there's a few articles right down here. Like one, he's talking about migrants, talking about Title 42, talking about health. And it's like, you already know what it is. You don't even have to ask. But of course, this is a sanctuary city. I don't know if people even debate it. Some people don't know. This definitely is a sanctuary city, and we have a sanctuary mayor, and he's a flaming piece of nothing. All right, as I've explained, it's very hard to remember his name. He is kind of an amoeba. I do believe he's deeply closeted, but who cares? It's 2023. I do not believe him and his wife are deeply in love. Deeply in love. All right. So KSAT Q&A. Ron. See, this is what I want to point out. Mayor Ron. They don't even call him Mayor Nirenberg. Mayor Ron discusses violent crime in San Antonio. So we're going to check it out real quick. Just real quick. We might read a paragraph or two. After the weekend that saw a surge of violent crime, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg discusses the efforts in the city in taking the quell of the violence. Right? Gonna quell that violence, and he's gonna discuss it. Or I figured it might be an article, but I guess it's just a video, right? Skip the ads, and I don't know if we're gonna put. It doesn't even matter if we put on the volume.
We are joined by San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg, as we are so often on Tuesdays, and we have, Mayor, a big topic that we want to talk about, something that got a lot of people's attention over the weekend. What was just a violent weekend, a series of shootings in San Antonio. One of them, most notably at North Star Mall, Sunday afternoon, a man shot and killed inside a barber shop there at the mall. But that's not the only one that happened.
By the way, I want to mention the man shot at the barber shop. He was not a part of my Glizzy gang. Shout out Glizzy gang out there, but his name, he was a rapper by the name of Glizzy. Here's the problem. I don't know where to find y'all's rap music. Where am I? I'm looking all on Spotify or like YouTube, for example, figuring y'all have rap music. If you're rappers, where do I find your rap music? I can't find it sometimes. Like, there was a lady by the name of Sky the Finest, and I don't know how you spell that, but Sky the Finest, she was like some sort of rapper in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I don't remember where she was from, but she just got shot in the face the other day, just plain shot in the face. All right, but she wound up living. All right, and then I tried to find her raps, couldn't find them anywhere. It's like, dude, y'all need to get marketers or something. All right, you're too busy getting shot at up in the streets or at the barbershops. Rest in peace. But okay, you know, we don't even have time. We're running out of light. Ron Nirenberg, I can assure you, is boring as hell. And also, he's going to talk about how, oh, he just came back from the the Conference of Mayors or whatever they call it. It's where mayors all over the United States of America get together and talk about who, God knows what. God knows what. All right, how to make their city so much better. Okay, so what they do is they talk about it here. They talk about it at the conference. Ron Nirenberg's going to say right now, he says, you know, all this violence and stuff is such a surge of violence. It's a damn shame that everybody can get weapons so easily in America. Oh, it's a damn shame. Every time it's a damn crying shame. And you never stop, you never quit. It doesn't matter who debated you, who debunked all your theories, who's told you you're un-American. Doesn't matter, because you're just going and you keep repeating the same thing. Oh, it's too easy. It must be just too easy. They make it too easy. So we got to create more laws, right? And slaves don't own weapons, right? And that's what Ron Nirenberg's up to. But also one thing I want to mention before we get up out of here, it's kind of on a side note. It's not really about San Antonio. But let me see if I can work I don't know how to work this technology. I wanted to drop this in here as well. On like a personal note. 3 weeks ago, 1 week ago, 3 weeks ago, and it's all breaking news and stuff I could have told you about years ago, and stuff you damn well probably already knew years ago. Alright, but they're talking about it all of a sudden now. Are you a long-time user of sugar substitutes? It may be time to change. What the hell are they talking about? And up above it, WHO advises not to use non-sugar sweeteners for weight control and newly released gobbledygook. Alright, so I'm going to read the Seattle article, which is what I read earlier. Alright, and I don't know how much further because we're running out of daylight, but you already kind of know what it is, right? That I've been mentioning these artificial sweeteners. Oh my God. Before I start the article, I just want to say, I was in the hospital, right, for a while. And in the hospital, you kind of like, it's like jail as far as the food goes, and there's little treats that you can get, and so you might get used to it, like Jell-O. For example, I got real hooked on Jell-O at one point, and I always had them bring me the orange Jell-Os. Why? Because the orange Jell-Os had sugar, and the red Jell-Os had not sugar, and they didn't even tell you what was in it. I already know what's in it. Alright, it had not sugar, no sugar, and I said, don't ever bring me these red Jell-Os. I said it very politely, but I said, don't ever bring me these red Jell-Os. And they said, why is that? I said, well, I don't know what kind of artificial sweeteners are in here. I don't know what's in here. Alright, and they won't even tell me. But I do know it's going to give me diabetes, and I don't want no diabetes, alright? And most people who I say that to have no idea what I'm talking about. I had never ever heard of the concept before, but the WHO and everybody else gonna play stupid and call everybody stupid and say, oh man, we're just figuring it out. Look, we're just figuring out all the stuff that we gave you and told you is safe, put you in a grocery store and had you buy it. All that stuff causes cancer and do all sort of devastating things. We didn't realize it, but don't worry, we're writing articles about it now. So sugar substitutes, artificial sweeteners, low-calorie sweeteners, non-nutritive sweeteners. No matter how you've heard of them, they're not without controversy. If sugar is blah, 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 artificial sweeteners are damn straight chemicals. Alright, we're running out of daylight. But this article is going to say what all the other articles are saying, basically. Artificial sweeteners such as sucralose, but there are several of them that they like to use a lot. Gonna give you diabetes, gonna give you type 2 diabetes, alright? It says so in this article. And they say, oh, we don't really know, but we think that maybe it'll give you type 2 diabetes. Maybe it can actually break apart your DNA. And maybe that'll cause you cancer. Also, maybe it does. We're We're figuring it out now. We had no idea earlier what we were giving you. But it could give you cancer. It could totally devastate your microbiome and stuff in your gut. It could give you a whole world of problems. But we didn't know it until now. And in fact, we don't know. Maybe it'll save you from all these problems. I don't know, because we did the experiments on rats. So that's pretty much what the article is about. If you wanted to go ahead and read this gobbledygook, that's pretty much what the article says. All this bad stuff, right? And I wanted to bring that up in order to basically gloat and point out that, quite sincerely, the great majority of America is being poisoned currently, and they're constantly killing themselves with poisons, and it was set up to be this way, right? That's pretty terrible. And you guys, I'm going to get up out of here, but I did want to mention, these are just some of the things that were in my wheelhouse. Let me make my face big so that you can see me and my emotions. These are just some things in my wheelhouse, and I wanted to talk about them real quick, but I gotta let you know, InfoWars all the time. I just made another purchase at InfoWarsStore.com. We're talking about supplements that'll get you to perform. I don't know if I showed you the picture, but let's go back to the picture of me, and I'm all sweaty. See that? Performing. Ran 3+ miles in the dead heat of San Antonio. Alright, during the day. I was all sweaty and stuff, as you can see. Installing muscles. See, it's a funny shirt. Okay, and supplements that I get from InfoWars Store are definitely top of the line. They're not filled with this cancer stuff. Alright, but I do want to mention that, of course, on the InfoWars broadcast, they're talking about all sorts of stuff, man. What's the biggest stuff? It's not really for us. I don't know. It's not for me to dictate, right? But wild stuff about Tucker Carlson going on Twitter and having such and such amount of views. Wow, it's pretty exciting. Even more popular than he was on TV. I hadn't seen it. I don't know. But I heard that he brought up aliens. I don't know if it's on a lot of people's minds. I guess it's always in the back of all of our minds. Extraterrestrials and stuff, and how the government lies to us about everything, so it makes sense that they're lying to us about aliens as well. Talking about all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's wild. The Ukraine war is not going to stop or slow down. That's pretty wild. Some dam got blew up and all this other stuff's just coming and getting wild, right? And so I'm gonna get up out of here. Maybe it's a couple more things I gotta do, but I think that's especially why I suggest we all go wild and we do crazy things, right? But not criminal things. I never supported or suggested for you to do criminal actions, but to go buck wild, alright, and catch the macho madness and start effing shit up, alright, but in a completely lawful manner. And I'll holler at y'all later. It's June the 7th, and I've had a pretty good Pride Month, to be honest with you. Everything's pretty low-key as far as Pride Month around here. 2020, 2023, and I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.